Hey everyone, Chloe here, and welcome back to my feminine channel. And if you are new here, ladies and lurkers, welcome. So, I wanted to talk about the institution of marriage and why it is so important for those of you who seriously seek marriage or who are already married to see your marriage and or your romantic relationship as sacred by using the cautionary tale of YouTube's Latoya Forever and her soon to be ex-husband Adam Ali. Now, what's important here is that I am not interested in the Splitsville drama of taking sides because there are two sides to every impending divorce story. And then there is the finger pointing narrative that both sides will weaponize when it comes to playing the blame game. And then, of course, there is the truth, which none of us could possibly ever know because we are not background furniture. But to give a bit of a background story to those of you who do not know, who these people are. Latoya Ali, better known as Latoya Forever, who is currently 34, and her husband, soon to be ex husband, Adam Ali, 32, who are now separated, are both Canadian YouTubers who basically built a very popular lifestyle and relationship YouTube brand together. And most recently, they both have been airing out their relationship turmoil and their complicated and very messy marital dirty laundry, and both have been publicly explaining the marriage fallout of their personal lives to complete strangers with juvenile back and forth. And of course, there are three children involved in this hot mess divorce. And now Latoya Ali is currently a peach chasing cast member of season 13's The Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. But most recently, she decided to return to her YouTube roots for a sit down, tell all style interview where she shares some pretty disturbing allegations about her husband, Adam Ali. And in this explosive two-part video, she admits that she cheated on the father of her children and unpacks a narrative that alleges physical abuse and entrapment. Now, from my observation with this couple, Adam is clearly a man that Latoya does not respect in the least. And they're not on the same page. And from the looks of it, they are both super immature and they were never truly equally yoked. And they are definitely missing the four C's of what makes a marriage successful: compatibility, connection, chemistry, and commitment, all of which have clearly been stepped on and ripped to shreds, which in and of itself is inherently sad because nobody wins when the family feuds. And when public blowups like this happen, mental notes and lessons and cautionary tales should always be duly noted because there are so many ways to learn in life what not to do. Now, when it comes to marriage, from the beginning of this platform, I have always been pretty adamant about the importance of keeping marriage protected and sacred. Because when your marriage becomes public fodder and public entertainment, or your marriage is put on the auction block for sale, couples will often fall for the trap of doing a lot of performative and phony and storyline secured and tap dancing for a check and creating beef so that the bag can always be increased and doing clownish and artificial things to keep the gravy train of entertainment to the masses going and invoking scandals to keep themselves relevant. Not to mention, putting your marriage on public display is an open invitation to the dark souls and spirits who crave mess and dysfunction on the regular. Because we all know that the internet streets will often thrive off of being a toxic and dysfunctional circus. And these performative duties are a surefire recipe for marriage implosion and disaster. So, from a married woman who considers marriage sacred, I wanted to share some insight and some tips on how to keep your marriage sacred and protected, because most women are so caught up in the cosmetics of the wedding and the title of wife and getting a peek into the storyline, secured and carefully edited lives of others that they forget that marriage is serious, serious business. But it is only when the luster and the shine of saying I do starts to wear off that the institution of marriage then becomes a cold, hard smack of reality when couples are not on the same page. And when couples are not on the same page, they will often fall into the common traps that lead down a path of marriage unhealthiness and failure. Ladies and lurkers, marriage is not a source of entertainment. Marriage is a sacred union where two become one. And your husband is now your immediate family. And as a wife, you are your husband's immediate family. And successful marriages take both masculine and feminine skill to work, particularly if a couple is in it for the long haul. So, keeping your marriage sacred is one of the most effective ways of keeping the bond that you have together as a couple strong. Because trust and believe the bonds of your marriage will be tested almost immediately, particularly when your marriage is up for public consumption. So, here are 6 cautionary tale tips on how to keep your marriage sacred. Number 1, protect the privacy of your marriage. People are not entitled to any insight on your marriage, period. And most outsiders are only looking for the cracks in your marriage, or they are looking for the signs of failure or weakness in your marriage to soothe their own egos. Number 2, corrosive and undermining relatives and internet lawyers and internet strangers are more inclined to smirk at your long term marriage aspirations than to support them. Some of you may not want to hear this, but the desire to see others fail at marriage is a very real one. Just look at the tabloids. Number 3, understand that most women or men will not be happy for your happiness unless they are experiencing it themselves. When people aren't happy for you, it isn't personal. But marriage and devoted companionship is what most women are after. And when they haven't found it, they are inclined to feel a frustration that has nothing to do with you as a married woman. So there will be glee when your nuptials are falling apart. Number 4, pray with your husband nightly and or share the things that you are grateful about together on a daily basis. Number 5, do not share nasty arguments that you've had with your husband, with your friends, and family. When your emotions settle down, you will forgive your husband, but your friends won't forget. And number 6, have fulfilling interests outside of your husband and children to keep your inner balance. When we make our husbands and our children our entire world, our individual identities get lost and swallowed whole. So, ladies and lurkers, should Latoya and her husband should have stayed in Canada, or do people simply grow apart? Or is Miss Latoya doing the most for the fame addiction that comes with clout and a check? And is a come up ever really worth your marriage and family? And ladies and lurkers, will people do anything to be famous? And as always, I look forward to reading your amazing comments below. And stay tuned for more cautionary tale videos to come. And I will catch up with you ladies and lurkers in the next one.